Greetings, Jedi traders. David here of TradingFibs.com to bring you the daily trend for week 17, day 3. It is Wednesday, April 26th, 2017. As always, please seek financial advisement when trading with your money, as these videos are for educational purposes only, to support your knowledge in the market, see what's going through my head on any given day. Always make sure you have a solid trading plan and always manage your stop when placing a trade. All right, good afternoon, Jedi traders. Market still rolling here for about another 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and get into some of the charts just from last night, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the indices here and key futures markets as we watch each day. All right, so last night, Globex, after two nice up days in the market. Chopped out a little bit on the Globex after a relentless move upside. Here we can see the NQ last night. Drop it down, 5-4 Flex Renko, 1 minute MML overlay chart. And you got yourself a trading strategy too with the HA bars from level to level. So NQ in the chops overnight, and of note before the midnight open, any action downside on the 6J. Nice move here. Solid entry. Eventually got going here with all the bars in the red. Again, core strategy here as we talk about each day. Heikin-Ashi bars in trend with a cloud downside. So there it was, the 6J to the downside overnight. Nothing much to speak of otherwise on the Globex. All right, let's take a look at the charts as they rolled out today. Let's take a look at price action on the NQ and ES market profile. Nice balanced profile here today after a pretty much balanced overnight session. Today was all about the tax reform. Tax reform today announcement. Not much secrecy there as to the details, so not much details either. So markets, who knows, perhaps the last 2 days got us up here and just chopped out, but still more to come for this week. All right, so Globex session was balanced. U.S. session pretty much balanced here on the profile. Taking a look at the daily gaps, we set an all-new all-time high here on the NQ. Never looked back really back today, as we'll see on the MML chart. So nice move from the high today to the low. Here we have still the open gaps downside, still opening, holding up above the weekly open on the NQ here. Same on the YM and ES across the board, but still not much. Still got a little bit of room to get up here to that all-time high in the ES and the YM. Overall trend still holds to the upside. As far as AD lines, again, we got that lift, a lot of sideways chop action on the NQ. YM also mid-session here, mid-session on the ES, and then finally at the end, giving back a little bit. Who knows? Market just doesn't want to hold on going into tomorrow's session. Also, to speak of, market internals on the quad here, whether you look at the ESNQ or any other index, nice cumulative tick build up throughout the day. Momentum for the most part, either we saw sideways chop action, but again, still holding for the most part upside as we just barely held to today's open, and finally at the end, giving back to the downside. All right, let's start with the NQ pre-market open here. That was our price action on the NQ upside on a 10-minute chart. Again, I wish, in hindsight, I wish I had taken a 5-minute chart, because that's really where price action held to today, 5-minute charts to the downside. Let's go ahead and take a look at the 60-minute pre-open here. Price action we could see here holding to the upside on the resistance, and on the 4-hour up here, 55.47. So let's go over to the NQ today. As we can see here, price action again, like I said, I wish I had that 10-minute chart, but the 5-minute here, 56.75, which actually happened to be on the 10-minute. Nope, it was actually a little bit lower. So 56.75, 55.47 was the major support resistance on the 10-minute chart. This was the high. But on the 5-minute chart, that was it. That was your new all-time high on the NQ today. And based on the strategy, the MML Murray math levels, there it was from high to low. HA bars, overlay on the HA bars. We'll show you that here in a moment. But price action from the high to the low, nice move. Now, as far as trade management, might have probably taken you out along the way, but if you held from the high to low, very nice move today. Can't say it any easier than that. All right, so we got our 10-minute chart from the high to low. Did it offer any opportunities? Well, let's take a look here in a moment. Let's take a look at the 60-minute and the 4-hour chart as the NQ again pulling back from the highs as we saw this morning, 55.47. Pulling back downside again. We know got those open gaps as we just saw here on the daily gaps. Serious levels to close downside, but as far as the bigger picture, resistance to the upside holds for now. Still taking a look at the bigger picture as we head into the midweek session, 56.25 upside and 55.46 as we had talked about over the weekend, holding above the 10 period and the 50 period moving averages. That's where we got ourselves. We're regaining that hold upside and heading upside to 56.25 at this point with, again, a little bit of resistance on the smaller charts, time frame charts. All right, so how did we end up on the NQ after all that today? To speak of, no major charts as far as trend were concerned. So let's go ahead and take a look at the full session. Here's our NQ chart as we saw where were those pockets of opportunity. Well, again, all-time high here, overbought on the MML. This is the 5-minute chart overlay. So there you go. You have your overbought. You have your reversal. Maybe you take the entry over here. If you kept your stop, you almost take it out here. Not to say you would have held on, but again, nice counter trend set up here. Price action. Again, this is for the most part the AM session. And really, your only solid move started to come here right underneath the 51.44 cloud and downside, but still not all in sync. We have a green cloud. The only red star movement we had was probably down here towards the end of the day. So nothing easy on the NQ as far as scalp entries, perhaps. It's whether you were above the cloud or below the cloud. Some of the traders in the room today taking an entry on the breakout of the 51.44 upside and the breakout below the cloud and downside, and that was it. They called it a day, and probably smart to sit out the remainder of the session. So NQ, nothing easy today. Got to look to the other charts, as we'll see here in a moment how those did as well. All right, let's take a look at the ES today. How did we do on the ES? Well, let's take a look at the pre-market. Pre-market on the ES here on a 10-minute chart, pretty much sitting halfway at the major support resistance, as we saw here on the 60-minute chart. Again, same as we saw in the NQ, holding up here at the highs. All right, let's go to the ES here, taking a look at the ES charts. Here we are, 10-minute ES is major support resistance. We got that lift up today. Again, this is a 5-minute chart. Again, probably shift to those 5-minute charts as they tend to be more reliable in a range-bound session, smaller time frame. But again, nice move up here, AM session. ES was trending much better than the NQ today. ES really trending well, but eventually that downtrend, perhaps on the news of NAFTA coming out, that U.S. pulling out there. That, again, was a news piece. Nothing official had been posted yet. But, again, that's all it takes in the news. Just a little bit in the market. Just a little catalyst of news to make it move. So there it was. Price action pulled back, regained to the highs, and then eventually close out at the MML low. So whether you took the MML's high to the halfway back and back upside again, and either way, on the range charts, it showed its colors and a really nice trend. So I'll show you that here in a moment. All right, let's take a look how we finished here on the 60-minute and the 4-hour. There we go. Midweek look here is, for the most part here, as we've moved through the week already, 3 days from the lows here. Moved all the way upside. MMLs, again, we had an MML reset here believe it was Monday or Tuesday. Nice move to the highs here. So we're holding upside. And a little bit of pullback and resistance. Do we have room still to the upside? Well, on the daily, yes. Again, we've got ourselves back up to these overbought levels. Do we still have room? Sure, we have room. At least that all-time high, 2401 to 2406, looking ahead. So there's our levels to the upside. All right, let's take a look. Any notable charts? Yes, ES, there it was. Nice trending session this morning up to the overbought level. Nice Heikin-Ashi bars, solid Heikin-Ashi bar right there. Everything in the green. That's the setup we're looking for. We got a green 534 below. Price action holding above the 34 EMA. You got your VWAP there. 51.44 cloud. That's the overlay from the 1-minute chart. And there you go. Price action drives right through the MML. That's all right. As long as HA bars in trend, keep trailing it up. Keep trailing it up. Find yourself a Heikin Ashi indecision bar. Move your stop along the way. Move it to an MML level. MML level. As price action draws higher, you bring your stop in a little bit closer to a significant level, whatever it is that you're trailing on, and you try and take its maximum amount of ticks as possible. So great move on the ES. Unfortunately, ES making a downturn. There was that news piece. As you can see, you could take right off the overbought. That's up to you on your trading strategy. Again, higher probability started to come right inside the cloud. I drew the arrow here to indicate once you broke out of the cloud, there it was. You had yourself at least a higher probability set up on the ES for some ticks downside from the overbought to the Globex high. And there was your ES move. As the ES towards the close here, again, a lot of chop in the ES session, but again, there was the drop right down to the oversold. So ES in a full session pick, there was your move to the upside, drawback downside. Mid-session until that news piece came out on the tax reform, it was pretty much just wait and wait. And then finally in the afternoon, one move down here. Got a second setup to the downside underneath the cloud. And finally, the fourth move, which I would say, third move of the PM session, which probably was the best. After this little up move, actually, that was a nice move there. But there it was, all in the red to the downside, all the way down here to support as the we just closed under the opening price on the ES. All right, let's jump into the other indices, key futures markets that we watch here. Again, the YM here today. As we saw, again, similar price action, nice little lift. NQ didn't move as much, but there it was. And then the reversal mid-session chop as price action eventually let go in the late afternoon here. Nice move on the YM to the downside with all charts in sync. But again, not our best looking charts today. So if it's not going to be the indices, you got to look to the other key futures markets. Let's take a look at the crude here today. Again, nice move outside the Globex. All in the green. EIA report today out with a draw here as price action lifted up, but pretty much finishing the day even. Doesn't give us much of a trend here for the crude. Here on the screen share, again, watching on the gold. Gold with a nice little move up today in relation to the PM session. AM session, we had a lot of chop there. So again, avoiding the gold in the morning might have been your best opportunity unless you were scalping. But it was the 6J with a nice move after that overnight session downside. Again, a lot of AM chop here. Again, small pockets of opportunity downside where you got all charts in the red. You got your 51.44 downside indicated by the third horizontal bar. Second bar, 534. And then price action eventually in the PM session, there was a nice move with the 6J as well as the 6E to the upside. Superb move in the PM session. All right, Jedi traders, as we head into tomorrow, let's take a look at some of the charts. Let's jump in back to the 5 minutes. Again, overnight session, you can always feel free to go down to a 1 minute chart. We'll show you that here in a moment. So there's our NQ 10-minute chart. Again, any downside, we'll take a look at a 1 minute chart, but anything back to the upside, watch for the 55.47 there on the NQ. ES will be YM. You can watch price action here on, that's our 4-hour chart. Let's get to a 10-minute chart. There we go. Watch for a little bit of further selling, maybe down to 879 down here, oversold. Anything back upside, look to 938. And the 10-minute ES, as we hold down here in support, watch for a pullback here to 86.75. I prefer to go to the 1 minute chart on the overnight, so let's go ahead and pull up the 1 minute chart here. So any smaller time frames, we'll be looking up to 55.47, up to 56.75. Taking a look at the YM, let's go. We got a 1 minute chart to a 2 minute chart on the Globex. Again, watch your 938 upside. If we break the 34 EMA, and our ES chart now on a 2 minute session. Let's go ahead to a 1 minute chart as we hit the support level. You can see nice price action here in the PM session. You know, when that volume gets smaller, it's always good to go down to a smaller time frame and perhaps get those entries off the MMLs. On 1 minute chart here, take a look, nice sweep down there at the end, last hour of trading. MML high to MML low. Very sweet move. And you overlay that on the charts, and you got yourself a fantastic setup. So how does that look? Well, let's go back to the ES. I'll show you how that looks exactly, how we do that every day. Let's go to a 5-4 Flex Renko. We go ahead and change the MML to a 1 minute in the PM session here. And voila, PM session. Give yourselves the range-bound charts here. And there we go. So, low volume, price action not moving quite quick enough for you. There it is. Nice move. So you got yourself the push through the MML high. You have your MML charts on a 1 minute. And so price action, there it is. Indecision, solid Heikin Ashi bar downside. And then even better, everything lining up and syncing. This is what we've been talking about, is that if we're going from the high to the low, I'd prefer that everything were to be in sync. So it's a matter of having not only MML, correct MML setting, but also to make sure that all your charts are in sync for the highest probability setup. So ES, fantastic move to the downside, giving yourself at least maybe 89 to 82, somewhere up to 7 points all the way down to the lows. All right, Jedi traders, that covers the charts. Let's go ahead and take a look at where we're headed into tomorrow. Economic calendar. Again, we had our EIA draw, durable goods, international goods, jobless claims just to start. And on the economic front, we have our earnings, Google, Intel, Microsoft, Starbucks, and Amazon tomorrow. So talk about a wallop on the NQ. So watch that NQ for tomorrow. All right, Jedi traders, as I said, that's a wrap for the key futures markets as I see them every day and key technical charts. Feel free to stop by at tradingfibs.com. Always check out my pre-market trend every day, posted 15 to 30 minutes prior to the market open to see where the current levels and what I am seeing on the charts. Make sure you check out my social media outlets to obtain more information. My trading mantra, one simple strategy, there it is. Keep it simple. Trade management. You can use the swing high stops to keep you in the trade. Trade management, you always have your options, one contract, two contracts, multiple, to keep you in or out of the trade, obviously. You can find me every day on Twitter at tradingfibs.com right here, or check me out on StockTwits where I post intraday charts and setups that happen in the trading room. I only watch what's in front of me and on my charts, and as always, I leave my bias at the door when trading. I make sure that whatever the belief is in the market, whether it should be up or down, I'm simply watching the charts in front of me. Hey, Jedi traders, if you're interested in joining us in our room to see those high probability setups any day with like-minded traders, feel free to email me, David at tradingfibs.com. You may join us any Thursday or Friday to view the live chart setups as they happen each day. I know there are a lot of great rooms out there, but I find that this room, small group, not more than usually 30 to 50 like-minded traders who are patient, who are disciplined, who are all willing to contribute at some point or another, and I find that makes it a very good home to learn how to not only let those runners run in your setups, but an opportunity to learn how to establish a long time discipline to trading as well. So likewise, there are a lot of great trading rooms out there. There are a lot of not good trading rooms, so you got to make your choices. I hope you can visit us one day if this is your first time watching the video. Other than that, guys, check out Earnings Whisper for anything shout out for here when it comes to calendars for earnings. If you're watching that, Apple next week, Facebook next week as well. Until then, have yourselves a Blue Zone day wherever you may be. Have a good day, have a good night, and good trading to you.